or any football player.
Roy Williams.
Oh, can you name a good one?
Brock Marion.
There you go. Better. Okay, we are live. Cold Open is open, so I guess we're going to talk about Cowboys. No, we're not going to talk about Cowboys. I mean, we can talk. I don't care. We can talk about Cowboys. I saw that they're not going to re-sign Alden, which whatever.
He had 5 sacks. I mean, I'm not crying over that too much. So
it is nice to see him back in the league though, and actually not acting the fool. So that's good.
Yeah, at least giving a damn. Quinn's going to bring back the Legion of Boom, and hopefully in Dallas. So we'll see.
I mean, anything's better than it was, right?
Everything is better than it was.
I like the
league record worst ever mediocrity.
I like the risk reward of getting Neal. I like that. $5 million for a guy that if he ends up not getting back anywhere close to what he was pre-injury, then it's no harm, no foul. But if he's back to that, that's really damn good. He was really good those first couple of years. It's a good thing I still hate football, though.
We always need a guy named Keanu playing for the Cowboys.
Sure.
So where does football lie now? Is it below cornhole or how?
No, football, the sport is still way up there. Just Cowboys, just not. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure by the time the season starts, I'll be like, what happens if they're good? That bullshit. But no, I don't hate football. I'm starting to get back in the mode of wanting to like sports again.
Okay. I was going to say, like, wait, what?
Well, like the first weekend of college basketball really kind of put me back in that place of, okay,
hell yeah,
sports are fun. The UNT thing was really fun.
Your Final Four team immediately exited.
Yeah, look. But I mean, that's the thing is that again, that's just one of the things.
You always have the faith in the Longhorns. I'll say that you are the modicum of consistency when it comes to your Longhorns.
I guarantee you, I have never picked them.
Should get that right.
I've never picked them to lose in the first round. Now, I may not have picked them to go further, like I did this time, but sure. I have not. I always pick them to win, and they haven't won in like 6 years.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I haven't even looked to see how the rest of the weekend went. But like I was going to quit playing fantasy baseball.
Oh,
and I'm not 100% back in on it, but I'm kind of looking forward to the draft this weekend.
Is it still Ryan's league or?
It's still Ryan's league.
I thought he got rid of that.
He was supposed to and then didn't, and then everybody was like, hey, are we doing the league? And he started it back up again, and then I asked him about that. I go, well, you said you were going to be done. And he goes, well, everybody wanted to, but I don't know how much I'll be into it. I'm like, then why are you doing it then? You're just saying you're going to be a dormant team. It's like, that's not fun. Sturm.
Just give it to Brent.
I don't know why he didn't just do that. What's up, Sturm? Caught us in... You caught us in, we caught us in Cold Open. It's a good time because we can talk to you.
Holy fuck! What a day.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Sturm. Had to drive home to get another change of clothes. Oh no! Did you shit yourself? Is that why? Oh, okay.
It was like I jumped into a pool.
Okay, same thing.
I have jumped into a pool with all my clothes before.
Oh yeah, I think everybody's done that.
Oh my god, jeans get super heavy.
Now I haven't done it with jeans. Jeans, that sucks. Doing it with jeans is not good news. Falling into a pool with jeans on when you definitely don't want to be in the pool is not fun.
Oh no, I had to
shoes. It's just it's a whole thing.
2-year-old like wandered off toward the pool and then
yes,
jumped right in, and then we I think we're like 5 dads like just jumped on in or whatever, like just all. This is even before I had a kid, or even thought about having kids. This is way back in the day. I guess lifeguard, thing just kind of came back into me, and we obviously the kid was fine, but we're
Yeah.
all like, okay, well now what do we do? And getting out of that pool was a mofo.
How do I just
Third time I
add?
got out from under the forklift when I felt the liquid hit my loins. Man,
I just want to add.
that's. I'll say this: the coldest I've ever felt is going whitewater rafting in Colorado. It was in June, but the temperature, like obviously in the mountain peak, was still like sub-zero, and I don't know why, like we did it that time, but we're just like we're doing it because last time when we were here, we didn't do it, and so oh my gosh, like I was just talking this the other day with the wifey, but my balls could not have shot straight up into my stomach cavity faster
Awesome.
than when I sank into that cold water. It was the coldest ever, and then we still did the white water. Like your adrenaline is just running full blast or whatever, and you just kind of grow numb to it eventually. But no, that was good times.
Oh my god. Stupid fucking piece
Uh-oh.
of shit.
Char, your cam do be froze.
It's because I've got Discord minimized. I'll get it back up in a second.
Oh.
I'm getting all my stuff here, so
Okay. Sturm, can you hear me?
Should be unfrozen now.
Am I still frozen? Maybe I should let it go.
Oh god.
Volume was good the whole time. That's good.
Okay.
We got volume down.
We got volume, and we got video. Okay. Are we ready? Shall we?
I'm ready, man.
What are we? Number 31.
Kick it.
All right, here we go. We're going to do this. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this now. In 3, 2. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, March 24th, 20 and 21. And you are listening to the MC Gamescast. I am one of your hosts, Mitchell Barrett, and I am joined by the other co-host of the MC Gamescast, Charlie Zarzuela. Charlie, greetings and salutations, my friend.
Buongiorno, my friend.
Yes.
How are you?
Oh, fantastic! I'm great. I'm happy to be here. It's great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a wonderful show for you today. We got our usual segments of what we've been playing in the news. We're going to remember some games. And we've got a new segment today, Charlie, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. But as we do every week, well, first of all, what we do is we're going to let you guys know that this is episode 31 of the MC Gamescast. And the title of this episode is Welcome to the Sands Comedy Hour, which we'll get into in a little bit. Charlie, you've been away from the work. You've been streaming a lot during the day. Tell me about your time that you've spent away from the grind.
Man, it's a relief to kind of get away from the work. I'm kind of scared tomorrow that I've literally forgotten all my network passwords. So I'm pretty much going to spend the opening 30 minutes trying to get reacclimated to the workplace, but let's talk backwards, not forwards, shall we? No, the vacation was nice. It was, long awaited. It was really, really refreshing. Didn't get as much rest as I wanted to. I was really more active than anything, like obviously with the pandemic going, it just seems like, everyone's chilling at home. So, the wifey and I, we decided that we weren't going to do that as much. We tried. I got her to try some Thai food, which it's up there. Like I can't rank my foods right now at the moment, but it's high on my list. Being Asian descent, it appeals to my palate. But it was so good. I'm so glad she enjoyed it. It was it looked very much like ramen, to be honest. So it was something familiar looking to her. And when she tried it, she was like, oh my God, this is really, really good. So We did a little bit of that. Obviously, was out St. Patty's Day. I made some corned beef and cabbage, which has pretty much lasted me all the way through the weekend into this week. Just trying to not to spend all my money all in one place when it comes to like food and such. Gosh, over the weekend my son had a soccer game, and he had his first like elite practice as well. He had another one like prior to, but that was different. Like this is like his first elite stuff. That was kind of cool to watch. I got a lot of stuff done. I did my taxes. I know
Early. That's early for you, bro.
barely, this is early for me. The last couple of years, I've just kind of been waiting. Like last year, boy, like with the extension all the way into July, I didn't do it till well after the 4th of July.
It's because he's so rich he doesn't need the money.
I really wish that was the case. No, it's just it's one of those things where I budget my money and just kind of put it in place, and if I'm not going to get it in February, I'm going to get in April. So
Sure.
did that, took care of that. Did my yard for the first time this year. Scalped that sucker, and boy, like I love you and I are polar opposites when it comes to seasons. I love the summer, you love the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I will trade anything. I will trade that snow day suck week that we had for having to mow a lawn like on hot days during the summertime. Especially my lawn. My lawn, like my front lawn is literally a 45-degree ascension up the lawn. So it's not very fun on hot summer days, but it really it's starting to feel like spring edging into summer already in like late March. So got that taken care of. We're already ahead of the game when it comes to Easter, which is like 2 weeks away. So that's pretty much everything that I did over the holiday break. Going back to what we do here, yes, I did decide to get a little streaming in. Fallout 4. I'm not going to speak too much before we go to the next segment, but yeah, definitely Fallout 4 has got its grasp on me. I definitely wanted to try streaming during the middays just because I know for the next couple of months, I'm going to have to take more days off to maximize what I've earned last year before it goes away into the ether for some weird, dumb, stupid reason. Still don't understand why they do that, but
Because corporate, that's why.
There's no real reason. There really isn't. It's so dumb. We can't hold that much liability on our books, blah 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 blah. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Anyway, like not going into that minutia, but it was cool to be online and just have a lot of fun. I didn't have any technical issues until today, which I was about to sign off anyway. But no, it felt really, really cool to and once I got off stream, it wasn't 12 o'clock midnight. So that was my time away. I did miss everyone who I do interact with at the office. I didn't do any laps when I was here, unfortunately.
You got to catch up, bro.
I've got a lot of catching up to do regarding that. I did. Well, that's here nor there. We'll talk about that in a second. How about you, man? What did you do while I was away?
So I do have one question. It's one work-related question. It's the only work-related question I will ask because I don't like to talk. We don't want to talk about work when we don't have to. When you go away for an extended period of time, do you like to keep tabs on your email so you don't come back to hundreds of emails, or are you just I'm closing everything off and I'll spend the first day back with 100 emails to answer?
I'm usually the former, not the latter. I'll just kind of check in every now and then. This one felt like just the exception to the rule that I usually follow, because I was like, I normally literally have 1 foot in the office and 1 foot out when it comes to my vacations and stuff. And I was like, I want to get completely disconnected. Everyone that I know in the Sun who I work with and around with, has been taking vacations and literally leaving, like, the area and the state and going. It seems like camping is like the big thing now.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to feel that way as well. Put my phone down, just let the chips fall where they may. I did kind of check it today just to see what kind of turmoil I
Well, yeah.
left in my wake.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to be a busy little beaver tomorrow.
Mhm.
One big thing I totally forgot to mention. I registered Homeboy for kindergarten.
Hell yeah, dude. That's
I took
happening.
care of that. And we actually have our first virtual meeting tomorrow. So you want to talk about having a full plate on my desk tomorrow? Literally, I'm gonna have to be, working. Plus, I kind of gotta get away early to make the virtual open house deadline or whatever. It's like 5 o'clock and stuff like that.
Right.
So, yep, gonna be hitting hard and heavy early tomorrow, so I can
Yep.
see what is in the confines of this elementary school.
Yep, my boy is also starting kindergarten next year as well. So yep, we're I'll be in the middle of doing all that stuff too. Yeah,
Yes.
see, I'm terrible when it comes to being away from work and cutting myself off from work. Like I just for
Okay.
whatever reason I have this mentality of, "Oh, I got an email and I have it on my phone." And when I
Yeah.
see an email and it's not just a spam email, I have to look, and if it's something that needs an answer, even though my out of office is on and all that crap, I'm so bad about that. And because I too would love to be the, no matter what I'm doing, just be like, I'm away. I'm away.
Yeah.
And if you need me, you can catch me in a week. Like I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
I'm terrible about that. Well, that's good. It'll be good. It'll be good to have you back tomorrow. Um, for the laps and all that stuff. Um, usual weekend for me. Like
Yeah. See how
you.
long my hair's gotten.
Oh boy, yeah, dude, it's
So
amazing.
stupid.
It's so. I hope you keep going. I too had my first weekend of lawn work. It went from everything is dead and frozen to holy shit. It's time to do something about this yard because it's getting overgrown and yeah, we're in that really good area of spring in Texas where it actually is spring. It feels like it, where in the morning it's a little nippy, and then the afternoon it's, 70, 75, and it feels great. We usually get about a month of that, and then it turns into hell on earth, and so we try to enjoy it as much as possible. Other than that, just hung out, got some stuff done around the house. My kids were away on spring break and came back Sunday, so I spent most of the latter part of last weekend, this weekend, kind of cleaning up the house and just taking advantage of the fact that I didn't have the kids, and it was great. Um, played some stuff
Yes.
and all that. And speaking of playing some stuff, let's get into what we've been playing. Charlie, why don't you start us off with what you've been playing?
Well, with me being home, it's kind of weird. Like it contrasts to my playing activity, how I was when I was actually working. Again, I was enjoying a lot of my vacationing. We were going out and doing things, and didn't really hit too much in regards to video games when it comes to variety. I did hit, obviously I'm hitting up Fallout 4. What I am focusing on this time, though, around, if people didn't catch the VODs, you should check it out on my channel, Charizard81 on twitch.tv. But I'm now focusing on really, really making a deeper penetration on the campaign side.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dawdling. I've been like kind of like, hitting the periphery, hitting all these side missions. That is what she said. I'm glad you got that, Stern. Um, I've been hitting all these side missions, and I'm like, okay, let's get into the beef of this game. What this game is all about. Like I'm the lone wanderer, and I'm searching for my son, And my worry about this game has always been that I am very behind in regards to the perk system. I don't know how high the uh, the level the levels can go if there is a level cap. I did kind of sneak around and look at some YouTube videos just to kind of get some. I'm not trying to sneak around and look at any like major plot spoilers or anything of that sort. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, what can help me to improve my performance? And I saw that, man, you can go up into the 90s with this thing. So I'm actually like, only about 1/3 of the way through in regards to leveling up. Not trying to go and do grinding on the stream. I do that off screen, but we've hit up the glowing sea. So that place is hell on earth, as you and I discussed earlier this week.
Sure was.
Totally thought it was the sea. Isn't that sad? This is as far as I've ever gotten into this game. Period. Kellogg, once I killed him, I was just kind of like playing around. I did defeat the castle with the big Queen Mirelurk. I didn't realize there was another one that hit up in my stream yesterday, and now we're actually hitting up the CIT. And making headways there in regards to the campaign. No, I mean that game is great. My biggest gripe again with that game is just the ridiculous loading screens. They're so unpredictable. You never know whether you are going to have to like sit down and have a come to Jesus discussion with yourself or the chat just to count the seconds and the minutes to go by, or if you just literally go straight into it. Sturm, I've still yet to use the mod. Again, I'll reiterate, I'm trying to approach this game from what they want, the game makers wanted to present to me through the PC. I'm really weird about putting mods, and having it kind of mess and matriculate all up inside my version of a rig there. So I don't know. It's starting to test my integrity when it comes to that, and I'm really, really thinking hard about changing that. That's Fallout 4. The other game that I've been playing, I had to go back kind of to my roots. It was like a moment where it was just a busy day, and we were exhausted, we were tired, we were getting at each other just because we were literally on soccer fields all day long. We were starving, and every little thing was just like biting at us. Homeboy was just whatever. And to take my aggression out, I decided to play a little bit on the PlayStation Now, the God of War Chains of Olympus. This sucker came out on the PSP way back in the day. I want to say it came out after God of War 3, because it seems like the God of War timeline was jumping back and forth after the third part. But God of War Chains of Olympus on the PlayStation Now, it's a good copy of a God of War. You can tell that it's starting to try to reach for those Greek mythologies. It seems like they covered all their bases in the first three parts of that I was about to say movie of that game series. But like with anything, there's lots. I mean, it's got a deep lore when it comes to all the different Greek gods, their relationships with each other, with man, all that stuff. So the storyline, you can kind of tell, is not as strong as the proper PlayStation console renditions. But it's God of War. It's your hack and slash, combo setup. It's not really open world. It's very linear in its traversing, but there's obviously nooks and crannies that you can go to find all the hidden secrets, all the hidden orbs that you can to maximize your your levels in leveling up your weapons and your magics. It looks good. I mean, you're not going to get much from a PSP port of a God of War game. It's so hard to try to res that up. You still there, buddy? I'm
Yeah.
talking a lot. Okay.
No.
I know you're trying to break in. But no, I mean it's a nice getaway to, like let some, inner aggression out, like that's not too complicated, but at the same time, it's not going to just, hand it out to you as well. But that's pretty much what I've been up to. Again, like, between Fallout 4 and God of War, Chains of Olympus, that's where I've been at. There's a couple more that actually I was hoping to have come down the pipe, but Fallout 4 just, again, sunk its teeth into me, its death claw teeth into me. That's pretty much what I've been playing over the last week.
It's funny. It's interesting that you mention a PlayStation, a PSP game, because I didn't put it in the news, but it's worth mentioning since you said it. They're going to be closing the PSP Vita and PS3 stores.
No!
Soon. So the only way that you'll be able to play a game like that anymore will be through PS Now via your PS4/PS5. But also, I didn't know that the PSP store was still open. I figured it would have been closed by now, but oh well, that's okay.
My God, are you serious?
Yeah, PSP's been dead for a decade. But by the way, God of War: Chains of Olympus came out in 2008, which is a long time ago. Anyway, so I've been playing some more Astroneer. That game is so good. It's incredible. I've already talked enough about Astroneer. There's no reason to keep on going. We're kind of pushing through the actual mainline stuff right now, unlocking the big runes and progressing. And some of the things that you do are very harrowing and very nerve-wracking and stressful as they're happening. I won't spoil them because to talk about them would spoil Astroneer, and I don't want to do that to anybody that wants to still play that game. But there are some legit moments where you're playing where you're really on the edge of your seat when things are happening that you don't know what's going to happen next, and that's really cool. That sense of discovery is still there in that game. Picked Rocket League back up. Took a good 2-3 week break, which was excellent. I was starting to kind of get burned out of playing Rocket League. We've come to the final week of the season, and there was a few things that I wanted to take care of in terms of challenges and get that stuff done. And again, taking that 2 or 3 week break was really nice because I'm feeling really kind of all into that game again. So that's been really fun, kind of getting back into that to finish the challenges. So that's it for that for those. But Charlie, we are going to debut a new segment, and this is going to be a segment for the weeks that I am the host. I wrote an open, so I might as well just play the open, because the open will tell you exactly what it is. And here it goes.
It's the greatest value in gaming today. Let's see what we can find. An action game or an RPG. It's the Game Pass Game of the Week. The Game of the Week.
That's right, everybody. It is the Game Pass Game of the Week. Each week, or I guess every 2 weeks, I will be taking a look at a game that you can find on Game Pass, the greatest value in gaming. And this week's game of the week, Game Pass Game of the Week, is Undertale, the 2016 indie RPG hit. There were many people in 2016 that said that Undertale was the best game of 2016. I still have a little bit of ways to go in it before I can make that distinction, but it's awesome. It is so much fun. It's not your typical RPG in that, okay, so you are in the game and you do battles and you gain levels and you move on and there's a story. They do an interesting take on the actual battle system where it's not just, like I said, it's not just, oh, you fight someone. Well, basically what it is when you get into a battle, your character turns into a little heart that goes inside of a little square. And then your enemy is up at the top. And you can battle them in your normal way by attacking, but also you could do other things to interact with the enemies that you are going up against. You can chat with them, you can flirt with them, you can insult them, you could do many different things that have different. There's different types of dialogue prompts that can, that will progress battles, and especially when it comes to the boss battles, where there are different ways to approach the boss battles based on how you either your dialogue or the way that you fight. It is hilarious. The writing is so good. It's so smartly written. As we all know in video games, comedy is very hard in video games. And it's especially hard when there is no voiceovers. So when you have a game that doesn't have voiceovers that is trying to be funny, the writing has to be impeccable. And that is the case here with the way that they use music and audio stingers along with the actual dialogue itself, the written dialogue. It's really funny. It's super lighthearted. It doesn't take itself seriously in the way that some RPGs do. You'll play a Final Fantasy, and there's a lot of times where some of those games tend to take themselves a little too seriously, and certain RPGs can kind of go off the rails and become more than just the game itself. But this one, it again, like I said, it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's just the writing is where this game shines. If you're looking for a game that, one, is not difficult, it's not a difficult game. If you're looking for something that's going to make you laugh, it's going to make you feel, kind of that lighthearted feel. This is absolutely what you should play, and it's not long. I've read that it's about 7 to 8 hours. I'm about 3 hours in, and I feel like I'm kind of at the midpoint. But yes, I highly recommend it, especially if you have Game Pass. It's on everything as well. It's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's on PC. It's absolutely worth playing, and especially if you have Game Pass to play Undertale, the indie RPG. It's awesome. I love it.
It looks really cool. Like, this is a game that, boy, we want to talk about slipping through the cracks. Every time I think about going back to games, this one kind of like hits a one of my heartstrings a little bit, just because it goes back to that contemporary JRPG.
Yeah,
but I've never been able to hit the go switch on this one. And I know I'm regretting it as I go along, but hearing you say it's not that long, I'm like, ooh.
No, and unlike RPGs that ilk and that kind of style, it's not a slog. Like, you're not going to sit there and be like, oh, so now I've got to go grind for an hour. No.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. You can sit back and enjoy the story. Like, the basic premise, and this is not spoiling anything, the basic premise is that in this world, there are humans and there are monsters, and there came a point where the monsters and the humans could not live together, and the humans banished the monsters underground. Well, one day, this little boy, girl, it's pretty ambiguous, so if it's a boy or a girl, you can name your character, is over by this opening in the ground. She falls into the hole and goes underground and is in where all these monsters are. And so it becomes you trying to escape the underground and the monsters that you meet along the way. And there are some terrifying monsters. There are some hilarious monsters that are trying to be terrifying but absolutely aren't. Like I said, the comedy in it is really good. Like it's like legit funny. Yeah, like Charlie, I think you would actually dig this because again, it's not very long. It's an RPG, but it's not going to be something that's too deep, and kind of feel like a slog. I think you would love it. But yeah, so that's Undertale. That's the Game Pass game of the week.
There you go.
With a brand new open, which I can't wait. Unfortunately, as with every week, the person that is the person that is hosting can hear all the sounds, and the person that is on the other end cannot. So you'll be able to hear that, Charlie, later. I'm pretty happy with the open. I recorded that tonight. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll do this again in 2 weeks when I host, and we'll do another Game Pass game of the week. And that's what we've been playing, Charlie.
Nice.
So I say we move on to the next segment, and the next segment that happens after that is the news. We almost made it. We almost made it with no
No flubs.
No flubs. Yeah, so we got a little bit of news this week, Charlie. I will go ahead and start it off, and then you'll hit us with the meat of the sandwich. Today, Charlie, gotta love that breaking news the day of the podcast. Psyonix, makers of Rocket League, announced a new game. And it is not the game you were thinking. Well, it's the game you were thinking, but it's not the kind of game you were thinking. They have announced a new Rocket League game. It's a mobile game, Charlie. It is called Rocket League Sideswipe. It is a 2D Rocket League game. It's going to be out this year. I have watched the trailer for this game. Look, I will play this because it's Rocket League and it will be free to play. It looks bad. It looks really bad.
Boy.
It looks like a bad mobile game. Like it looks like it's not going to control well. It looks like it's going to have the same free to play tropes that all mobile games tend to have. It doesn't look good. It's so hard based on a trailer. The trailer was 25 seconds long. It's not very long, and you never know. But just the first impression was not good to me. I don't know. It just didn't look great.
Just putting those words together, though, like Rocket League 2D.
I know. It just
Scroll.
Mobile game, like all those.
Mobile
yeah, when you
game.
combine,
I'm like,
yeah,
what is going on with?
It sounds terrible. Like, and they didn't give an actual date. And again, I will obviously give it a chance because it's Rocket League, and I love Psyonix, and Psyonix has always done great work with Rocket League. But I am not optimistic in the least that this game is going to be good.
Okay, well,
I'm just being honest. Like I love Rocket League, and I would never say a bad thing about Rocket League, the console / PC game. This ain't it. This ain't it, man. So we'll look to see when that comes out. Charlie, you've got the next two.
Yeah.
One news and then one big date. So why don't you hit us with the big news to start?
Big news. It just came down this week. I believe Gotham Knights is delayed until 2022. Yet another game delay, while we're slowly seeping the pandemic away down the drain. WB Montreal has announced that the new game in the Batman series is going to be delayed until next year. No reason. Just it's going to be delayed. I could see that, after a year of, labor turmoil and just everyone going through crazy stuff, both like in home lives and business, etc. I'm not surprised that big AAA games, especially this one, are going to be delayed into the next year.
Right.
Or delayed, at least until the end of the year when the holidays are going to be coming out. So this one, well, it's sad. But I'm not surprised. Like,
No.
it's a bummer, to be honest, when it comes down to it. But,
Well, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
oh, you're fine. I was going to say, we're so desensitized to things being delayed.
Well, yeah.
That now, okay, that's fine.
But also, you
But-
and I are in this position now where we're like, we've kind of gotten past the idea of being disappointed when games get delayed, because we're like, okay, we would rather, unlike a lot of people online, unfortunately. Yeah, look, if they delay this till 2022 and then it ends up being a great game, then obviously it's worth the wait. Obviously that didn't work for Cyberpunk because it needed to probably be delayed longer. And sometimes, I mean, we were seeing that with Halo Infinite right now. If the game comes out and it's a great game, why would you be mad? It doesn't matter. Let them get the stuff done.
Yeah, even like CD Projekt Red, whether you've been able to play it or you're still waiting to play it, or you've played it and it sucks, or you played it and it's janky and you got your money back from it, it would have behooved that company and the game as well to delay it into the future. So you and I have always been on the side of like, yes, it's a bummer that it gets delayed, that certain things do get delayed, but we would rather have a finished product. Like, gone are the days where we need to have opening release patches that are, a gigabyte or to 10 gigabytes in size, just to save face to make a deadline. That's kind of baloney. And, I think there is a really like a small faction that unfortunately, wow, there's a lot of lightning going up behind my shoulder.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it on your screen.
While that small faction, they're the shitty ones that unfortunately make their voice heard the loudest because they troll the internet by saying, "Oh, we paid all this money for this game, da 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 da. It should come out at this time, blah 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 blah." The majority of us, we would rather have a complete, polished, finished product, and we're willing to put in, waiting. There are other games out there. Come on, like let's just be brutally honest. Very, 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 very few of us rest their laurels on a single video game so hard that we are going to drag the producers and developers' names through the technological mud just to put our point across and to say, hey, validate our $60 or $70 or whatever.
100%.
So now when it comes to news like this, I'm sad, but I stand firmly behind what you just said a second ago, that we will wait. Make it better, make it great.
And I think what we're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing more of this, because I think there's going to be a lot of companies, and I'm not talking about your EAs and your like top of the line Activisions. I'm talking about WB, and then kind of onward, on downward. They're going to err on the side of caution because of what happened with CD Projekt Red. That became such a shit fest. No matter how you look at it, no matter what side you're on, in where you kind of fall on that, it was a shit fest, and they brought it on themselves, and I think there's a lot of companies that aren't going to want to put their reputations on the line for something unneeded, such as let's put a game out that may not be fully ready to go. So I think we're gonna start to see more of the delays, and I think we're also going to start seeing a lot more of companies not giving out release dates. and just saying it'll be out when it's ready. I think we're going to see more of that. I don't think we're going to see as much of the concrete, this game's coming out in June of this year and then it has to be delayed. The more ambiguous that some of these developers can be will be better for them. Because it's funny, them talking about Gotham Knights it being delayed until 22. To be honest, like, I either forgot or don't ever remember seeing that it was even supposed to be out this year. So,
Hey, buddy.
them
We got tornado alarms, so
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Go
yeah.
go
All
do your
right,
thing. Well, folks, we knew this could happen. So while he is going to safety, which he needs to do, I'll just go ahead and say that yeah, I'll just continue what I was going to say. I think we are going to start seeing more ambiguous release date schedules where companies are not going to give specifics until they absolutely are for sure they know that it's going to be ready for release. So that's about it on the WB stuff. We'll go ahead and skip Charlie's next one, and I'll go ahead and get into the next story. Yeah, we've got some pretty tremendous severe weather going on right now. It's pretty violent. It's raining pretty hard here. Haven't had any tornado alarms yet, though. I may take one earbud out, though, just in case. So we'll go to the next story that I have, which is we've got more rumors and more reports for the upgraded Nintendo Switch model that is supposed to come out this year. We're getting some news on what the innards are going to be, and it's going to be a new NVIDIA chip. One of the things that is being reported about the new Switch is that it's going to have it's going to be upgraded to 4K when it's docked, and the new NVIDIA chip that they are going to be putting into the new Switch is going to help do that. It's not going to run native 4K. That's too powerful. It's too expensive for what they want to do. So they're going to do it to where it can up-res to 4K, which for them is probably what they should be doing. I would imagine that probably by June it's going to be when that Switch model is going to be it's going to be at least revealed, and probably when we get to the fall we're going to hear some information about a release date for that, but I bet it's going to be this year. So it's good that they're getting a good chip for that. So it's going to be an actual good upgrade. It sounds like that because of that new chip, it's probably going to be a little more expensive than the $300 that the current Switch model is. But if it is a big upgrade, then that'll certainly be worth it. The last story I have, while we wait for Charlie to get back, he's in safety right now because of a tornado warning in his area. So the next story that I have is more rumors. The acquisition tour for Microsoft may be continuing, as there's a rumor that Microsoft wants to buy Discord for $10 billion. Which is interesting, considering that they own Skype already. It's interesting that they want to purchase another video streaming service. Sorry, Charlie is texting me right now. Let's make sure he's all right. Oh yeah, that's definitely a rotation. Jeez. Yeah, not great, guys. Let's hope he's all right. what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Discord. Yeah, it is weird that they want to purchase Discord considering they already have Skype, which is kind of a direct competitor. I don't know how I feel about that because I really do like Discord a lot. I like it for its many reasons. I like it for the community aspect. I like it for we're using Discord right now for the podcast to be able to talk to each other and have the video up on the show. If Microsoft buys it and they leave it alone and just let Discord do what they do, then that wouldn't be too big of a problem. But of course, if Microsoft wants to meddle, then it may turn into, it might turn into a little something that's not necessarily what we want to do. That we want from our Discord. I've met a lot of really good people on Discord, including a few of you in the chat right now, Warto and Sturmy. And hopefully not much will change from that regard with that. Excuse me. All right, folks. So if you're just joining us, if you're joining us live or just joining us in the actual podcast, Charlie has had to step away for a few minutes. They are having a tornado warning in his neighborhood, and so they are taking shelter right now. And they hopefully he'll be back soon. In fact, there he is. There's that man. I see him. I don't hear him, though. Let's see what he's doing here.
Hey, dude, you there?
I'm there.
We got a tornado coming down the street, so
All right.
carry on. I might be back.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going, and then you can drop back in. You gotta go. Get out of here. Go. All right, folks. Well, we are going to let's go ahead and just we'll go ahead and continue on. We're just gonna keep doing the show, and when Charlie is back, we'll keep on going from there. So we're gonna go to the new releases, and we've got a few new releases. The Fall Guys Season 4 is out as of Monday, the 22nd. So the Season 4 of a game that I have not watched in a long time or played in a long time. So if you're into Fall Guys, if you're into Fall Guys, you're probably already playing it. So that is out. New games. It Takes Two on Friday, which is on everything. It Takes Two is the new game from the creator of Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, and A Way Out. This is the co-op only game that I don't know too much about, but I know that this is a big title coming out this week from a developer that has made some really good games. So that's out on Friday, and also on Friday for the Nintendo Switch, Monster Hunter Rise, the newest Monster Hunter game, is out on the Nintendo Switch. So if you're into Monster Hunter, then you best get on that. And that's new releases. That's the news for the week, and we will go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go ahead and get down on that. Let's remember a game. I'll go ahead and start with mine since Charlie is away. Charlie is away with a tornado warning, so we're making sure that he's fine. He's being safe with his family. Godspeed to the Zarzuelas. And so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the state of emergency, which, funny enough, it's funny that we're hearing this warning, and my game of the week is State of Emergency, the Rockstar game for the PlayStation 2. So coming off of the release of Grand Theft Auto 3, Rockstar wanted to put out a new game that was kind of branching off away from Grand Theft Auto. By then, they still hadn't started doing Red Dead yet. I don't know if Oh, what was the Manhunt? I don't know if Manhunt was out by that time or not. However, so coming off the heels of the big release of Grand Theft Auto 3, they put out a game called State of Emergency. And State of Emergency was a brawling beat 'em up game, uh, and it's kind of hard to explain. So, Dynasty Warriors. Everybody knows Dynasty Warriors. This was kind of the urban Dynasty Warriors, where there were a lot of enemies that you had to fight. And it was a beat 'em up, and you had some power ups. So back when this game came out, coming off of Grand Theft Auto 3, I loved Grand Theft Auto 3. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And I went and pre-ordered State of Emergency because I wanted the next Rockstar game. It's getting really, really, really bad outside, guys. I may have to take a break here soon too. Damn. Perfect timing. Anyway, so the game came out. I pre-ordered it because I wanted the next thing that Rockstar did. Well, this was one of the most disappointing one of the most disappointing games on the PlayStation 2. I didn't fall for the idea that this was supposed to be another Grand Theft Auto, but I did go into it thinking that it was going to be a game that was as good as Grand Theft Auto, maybe not the same game. Wow, that was really loud thunder. But I don't know. I just didn't feel that was. I just didn't feel that game did anything well. Like, the fighting system wasn't good. It was one of those button mashing brawlers that just didn't feel very good. The story was non-existent. The music, there was no licensed music. It felt like a B game. And I was highly disappointed. And that was kind of the first game that made me realize that, hey, what if we didn't pre-order games? And I kind of haven't pre-ordered a ton of stuff since then. But yeah, State of Emergency was a weird game. It just wasn't great. Right, and that was the thing, is that, so, like, the fighting sucked in the game, but then you would pick up a gun and just go crazy, and I don't know, it wasn't good. It tried to have this weird attitude that just didn't work. It is now hailing outside, just so an update on the weather. For those of you just joining us, Charlie is away with his family. They are bunkered. They are hunkered down. Hopefully in a bathroom, because they have a tornado warning. They literally, this is not a joke. There was literally a tornado, or at least rotation, down his street. He sent me a picture of the radar, and it's right down the street from where he lives. It's crazy. So hopefully he's fine. So right now I'm kind of manning it alone, trying to keep this ship on the steady. Did you guys see that story about the ship that got grounded in the Suez Canal over in Egypt in the Red Sea? That was nuts. 400-meter ship, cargo ship, got off center and basically got lodged in the canal that is the biggest canal, the biggest shipping canal in the world, and has halted shipments from going through for the last 36 hours. Crazy. I went on a big deep dive on the Suez Canal today because I'm fascinated with that type of infrastructure, but we won't get into that here. But yeah, so State of Emergency, not a good game at all. And it's not surprising that they never made a sequel to it. So that's State of Emergency. Wow, that was some big lightning from Charlie's side. Is it still there? Yeah. Yeah, it's as far as I know, it's still there. They're still trying to dig it out so they can move it. It's kind of lodged in at an angle. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, I went on a really deep dive about the history of the Suez Canal, which the Suez. You know what? We're already here. We got a vamp, so we're gonna go there. The Suez Canal was started in 1859 and completed in 1869, which is incredible. It is 200 miles long that stretches from the Red Sea through Egypt and past the Middle East and out to the Mediterranean Sea. 200 miles. Incredible. It's incredible. I'm so fascinated by stuff like that. So we're still waiting on Charlie to come back. If he comes back, we'll see. I am in contact with him via phone. He'll be able to let me know. We'll go ahead and move on. And we're going to go ahead and we'll come back to Charlie if there's still time. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the mailbag. Because I believe as a show we need to go ahead and move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the mailbag. And if you have any emails or messages that you'd like to send along to the MC Gamescast, you can hit us up on Discord. That's the place where we get most, if not all, of our questions. You can hit us up in the chat here or via email at themcgamescast@gmail.com. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to we're gonna have a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog feedback because hang on a second, give me just one moment, everybody. I would like to image options. Well, I can't get this to work right. Give me just one moment. Doing a little producing on the fly here. So we have a little bit of we got a little bit of that there feedback from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie segment that we did last week. And our good friend of the podcast, friend of the show, friend to you and me, Sturm Rage, is giving us some of these questions. So I'll go ahead and start with the first one. Now, actually, not the first one because I can't help with this first one because So he asked about Sonic Underground, the TV series. I never watched Sonic Underground, so I couldn't tell you much about Sonic Underground. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to tell you about that and be able to answer your question, Sturm, but unfortunately, I am not able to do that. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, which the next one is why is Knuckles so much more badass than Sonic? I don't know why he is, but he is more badass. He's got a much bigger attitude. He's definitely got better powers potentially than Sonic because in addition to being fast, he can glide. I think Knuckles is a better character in terms of playability, in terms of maybe the actual character itself. I don't know about that. I would imagine that either in the sequel or if they do, a whole trilogy of these Sonic movies, I would imagine at some point that they're going to put in, Knuckles. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. So, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I agree. Knuckles is a great character when it comes to the video games. And so on the other token, why is Tails next to useless? I disagree. I think Tails is a good character. I think Tails, in the video games, Tails can carry Sonic and glide with its tails. I think in the TV series, Tails is a great character. He's trying to fly, and I think he's a good character. And I think I don't like the way that they introduce his character into the very end of the movies and post credits. But, however, I think that Tails is a good character. So I disagree with you, Sturm, that Tails is a bad character and useless. Next up, why are Sonic's dangly bits in the movies? Don't the hedgehogs? Is that supposed to be not in the movies? Don't hedgehogs produce with Pound Town? I don't know what your obsession, Sturm, is with animals having sex, but you seem to really like talking about animals having sex, in Pound Town. Which, whatever, that's fine. You do you, buddy. Love you. And finally, does Sonic make you want to get some of them Purdy's hedgehogs? I had to look up Purdy's hedgehogs, but they sound delicious. They are a chocolate treat that has hazelnut inside of it, and they sound delicious, and I would like to have a Purdy's hedgehog. So if anybody wants to send me some, send them along. So that's Sturm. We did get one from Warto, our good friend Warto. Thank you so much. He is back with the Warto visual question of the week. We don't have an open for it yet. If Warto will start sending more of these visual questions every week, I will absolutely write and produce and record an open for it. Because that would be really fun. But for this week, if you take a look here on the screen, now this is going to be for video. If you're watching on YouTube or watching live, it may not come across as well in the audio format on the podcast, but I'll try my best to explain it. We've got a picture here that says, "What is the proper way for Batman to wear a hat?" And it's got 5 pictures. And it's got the first picture is Batman, where the hat is resting on top of the bat ears. Number 2 is where the hat is on fully, and it's pushing the bat ears to the back and coming out the back almost like a ponytail. Number 3 is the hat is scrunched between the 2 ears, which is hilarious. It's a hilarious visual. Number 4, the bat ears have ripped through the top of the hat and he's wearing it backwards. Or number 5, which is a hat where the bat ears have been added to the top of the hat and it is pulled all the way down over his eyes. And so the question is, what's the proper way for Batman to wear a hat? If I have to choose between the 5, I believe it's either 2 or 4. The only thing that I will say about number 4 is I believe that the hat needs to be built with the ear holes already cut out instead of ripped all the way through, because then you're just ripping a hat and you're wasting some money on a hat that you've already ripped up. No doubt number 3 is the funniest to me, because it's just the hat is just scrunched in between the ears. It's hilarious. I love this so much, and Warto, like I said, I would love it if every week you could find something like this to send us for the Warto visual question of the week, and I will 100% produce an open for it if you do that. If you can do that for us, because I think for those of you who may not know or don't remember, the first Warto visual question of the week was this female centaur thing, and there were many questions about the female centaur that we answered back. God, this is probably 6 months ago, but this is hilarious. So yeah, if you've got more of these, Warto, send them through, man, and I'll produce an open for it. That's fun. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mailbag. And that's going to do it for the mailbag, which means we have come to the final segment. But before we get to the final segment, for those of you that are just joining us, as you can see from Charlie's side, he is dark. He's gone dark. And the reason why is we're having some severe weather here in the area, and Charlie had to step away because they had a tornado warning, so much so that they literally had rotation down the road from where he lives. So we're hoping everything is fine going with them. And so we're going to keep on going. We're going to continue on. Sorry about that. I was just checking my messages, make sure that I can get one from him. And so, yeah, we're everybody keep the good thought for him. Everything appears to be fine, but you never know with this kind of stuff. He may be back before the end of the show. He may not. We hope so, but if he isn't, that's okay too. And we'll be back with him next week, of course. But we're to the final segment of the week. And ladies and gentlemen, that final segment is, of course, it's time for Wednesday Night Scatter Shooting with your host, Mickle Burnt, right here on the MC Gamescast. Thank you so much, announcer. Doing this show alone is weird and I don't like it. Hopefully we won't have to ever do that again. But we are to scatter shooting, ladies and gentlemen, and we are scatter shooting, wondering whatever happened to dominant video game athletes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with March Madness in full effect right now, every website is putting out their own fun brackets. Everything from a tournament of cheeses to video games. If you're looking for a definitive tournament of champions on a subject, you can absolutely find it. NBC Sports did one such tournament bracket where it was video game athletes. A 16-player bracket that included some of the biggest names in video game sports history. While the bracket did include the names you would think about, it was missing a couple that made this reporter raise an eyebrow. And for scatter shooting today, I thought I would go over my top 5 video game athletes of all time. A couple of honorable mentions before we get started and get this list going. To start, we're going to start with the honorable mention to Mario and Sonic. There's no doubt that Mario and Sonic have been in the most sports video games, with Mario certainly taking that award. And Mario has been in the following: golf, basketball, soccer, tennis, baseball, fighting, and the Summer and Winter Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, the man has returned. Charlie Zarzuela has returned to the MC Gamescast. Charlie, welcome back. Glad you're safe.
Holy crap, dog.
Glad you are safe. I just want to, before I get back into what I was doing, in fact, I may actually start over for you. I don't like hosting on my own. That sucks. I don't want to ever do that again.
I got to keep it down.
And we can decide what we want to do, but I have already finished the news, talked about my game, and I'm in the middle of scatter shooting.
Okay.
So do we want to just go ahead and finish scatter shooting and call that a night, and we can pick it up next week
so we're done.
Yeah, I ran out of vamping, and then I was no, but dude, like I'm glad you're safe. Shit happens. It is what it is. It made for interesting fun.
You remember your game?
No, I already talked about my game.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call an audible. We're gonna stop scatter shooting. We'll get back to it. I already did the mailbag. So we'll say I want to talk. I want to hear your Batman one. So we'll get to that. But I want you to talk about your video game for this week.
Before talking about the video game, let me talk about the tornado thing.
Oh yeah, tell me the tornado thing.
Oh my God. So yeah, we had tornado alarms going off. Chris doesn't live too far down the street from me, so he started going off, and then all of a sudden, everyone who is anyone who I know who knows that I live here, Ryan must be asleep, started texting me saying, "Hey, get down," or whatever, "get safe," or whatever. So steered clear from that. So yeah, we got in the bathroom. big inflatable. I now have an inflatable twin mattress in my bathroom because
Perfect.
it makes a lot of noise when the fan the fan goes off. So we're just gonna leave that inflated out during the night or whatever. We woke up homeboy. He was like, "Whatever, I'm just going back to bed." He like curled up on the bathroom floor. He was just yawning the entire time. It's one of those things when that ignorance is bliss in that way. So, you know, yeah. Apparently the rotation was literally right above us.
Yeah.
Right above me, right above Chris.
Saw the radar picture you sent.
Yeah,
I was like, yep, that's where you guys are.
it's one of those things where like they show the line, right? And they're like, okay, it's gonna miss us. It's blocks away. And then you start to see that rotation. Well, tornadoes can be bigger than that, just that little line. So we're like, what are we doing? That's why I was like, calling a severe audible. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta get to the bathroom now. Like, as tremendous it would have been to see my man cave get completely lit up on camera. I'm glad it didn't.
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah, no worries.
I have to be honest with you.
Mhm.
I wish you would have turned the camera off. And here's why. Because if shit would have gone really terrible, I would have been like, "What the fuck are we want? Oh God, no! I hate this." I should have told you to turn it off.
Listen, it is for the integrity of this show that I was like, I am going to come back here. Hopefully, I'm going to make it just in time to do the let's remember a game or maybe the mailbag. But that's okay. I don't have to worry about that. Things happen, man.
It happens.
Like this is crazy.
It's fine.
This is early Texas weather for you people who don't know.
Yeah,
we're at the bottom of Tornado Alley, and
this is what
every
happens.
now and then we get that.
Hey,
So,
hey, guess what? This shit's probably happening again in the next 3 months. It's probably gonna happen again.
Off and on.
And guess what? It'll probably be me next time. So
Well, you guys were getting not in your. I guess when I say your, I always refer to your area as like Fort Worth too.
Mhm.
I know you're that direction, but man, you guys are getting people in Fort Worth are getting like softball size, baseball size hail out there. Oh my god!
I'll tell you what. Go back and listen to the show where after you left, and you can hear it. Trust me. It got loud here. There was a moment where I was like, I may have to also leave, but then didn't. But no, we're everybody's happy. You're safe. That's all good. And they all got to see me fail as a single host, which is fine. Who cares? So Charlie, I'll tell you what we'll do. Like I said, you talk about your game of the week, and why don't you go ahead and preface it with the part of the news that you had put in for that specific series. Because I skipped that part, and then we'll do War Toast question, and then we'll do scatter shooting. So go ahead and take it over with your game.
Okay, well, my part of the news that I was about to say after the Gotham Knights delay, it's a happy 25th anniversary to Resident Evil this week. Officially, it's on March 22nd. I know Capcom's been planning to have some special announcements coming up next month in regards to Resident Evil entities. Obviously new games. Some people are jonesing for the remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, kind of like they did with 2 and with Nemesis. They want the reboot remake for Resident Evil 4. We'll see. Another one that's been rumored, in the rumor mill is a reboot of Code Veronica. That one I can actually see more being a better reboot in that it was further. It came out a lot earlier than Resident Evil 4, obviously. And Resident Evil 4 still holds up today. I know, there's some people who don't like, tank controls. It still kind of has that a little bit. But I would like to actually see a more updated version of Resident Evil Code Veronica. That's just me. Along with that, you've got the Resident Evil television show that Netflix is planning to put out. Is it a television show or a movie? I'm trying to remember. No, television show.
Yeah. Oh, so the movie reboot is a different thing too?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's a whole brand new thing
Jesus.
as well. Um, and on top of that, obviously you have Resident Evil 8 that's coming out, later this year.
May.
Um, the successes of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Nemesis, as well as Resident Evil 7, it just lends me to think that, like, wow, like Capcom has rebounded in a huge way when it came to the series. I thought that series was dead on the vine. When it came to Resident Evil 6, it became a pure shooter. I didn't like it. You could kind of say it went off the rails a little bit with 5. I liked 5. I know a lot of people didn't like Shiva or whatever, but it was nice to see it go to a different locale. Excuse me. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming in through the woodwork. I know you're able to play as was it Claire or Jill in Rainbow Six, because it's just like an add-on to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil. Resident Evil, 25 years. I can't believe it's been that long, to be honest. The 90s. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely come a long way since that first zombie, turned its, skull cracked head around, and now we've got Nemesis and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre experience practically. And I can't wait to see what Village has. That's coming around the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
That is that. That leads me right actually into my Let's Remember a Game, which is Resident Evil Code Veronica. The first time I actually saw this game was on the Dreamcast. I didn't own a Dreamcast. My friend, when I this is going to date me. When I worked in Mervin's, my coworker actually had a Dreamcast. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Mervin's.
Open. Yeah. So he bought this game and he was like, Resident Evil Code Veronica. I'd played Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Nemesis on the PlayStation 1. Those games were scary, but with the blockiness of it and obviously the technology, just the graphics of it or whatever, it was scary, but it was still a game. The Dreamcast copy of Resident Evil Code Veronica, you can definitely see the advances in graphics. The people looked a lot more realistic. The opening setting of that game was ridiculous. You're in a jail as Claire, and you're trying to break out, and obviously shit hits the fan. You have your classic moments with the dogs busting through the window instead of out from underneath like those portable military buildings. Now it's busting through the window, chasing you down the hallway. I remember we went to my buddy's room and we were playing this like in the complete dark. He cranked up all the speakers and he had one of those like those speakers that you would hang up at the corners of your boudoir, and just wires everywhere. It was crazy, but it did the desired effects. But we were playing and everything's cranked up to a 9. And we're getting this scary moment where we're just like, okay, like, we've literally gone back and forth down this hallway. There's a lot of puzzle movements in that game where you have to inventory manage the correct way in order to get to the next area. That could be, there's positive and negatives when it comes to the inventory management of all Resident Evil games. They've got the Tetris puzzle trick that you have with all those inventory caches. But going back to it, we were finally at a point where we were starting to get further in the game, and sure as crap, my friend's mom, like, we didn't know she'd come home. We had everything cranked up apparently. We didn't hear the garage door open. She just opens like, "What you kids doing in here?" We were like, We were so scared. I swear I pissed in my pants that night when that happened, and it was just surreal. But it lends itself to how Resident Evil it took another leap in graphics and gameplay. There were more challenges in regards to aiming. You aim up and down in order to get precise headshots, get leg shots, etc. These zombies looked real. They were able to incorporate more zombies in the game because obviously it was a bigger engine. That game obviously it was a bridge to Resident Evil 4 eventually, which gosh, that came out on the GameCube later on. I played Code Veronica both on the Dreamcast and the PS2. Funny story with the PS2 as well. So when I had the PS2, my buddy from college, Adam, he had come home and we were playing. He didn't play scary games like that at the time, but we were playing this together. And I don't know why, for some reason, I had the guide to that game. And he's like, we're going along, kind of like one of those things where like, okay, if we have the guide, it's not going to scare the shit out of us. So we're playing along. And of course, like I'm playing and he's reading. So we get to a point where you have to trigger kind of a scene or whatever. And there's a kind of a switch at the bed. Well, the bed just comes crumbling down like in spikes and stuff. And just obviously with the enhanced sound that comes with it, scares me out of my gourd. Not like half a second later, he says, in a very dry voice, when you hit the switch, the bed transforms into a spike trap that comes tumbling down at you. And I was like, really? You couldn't have said that like half a second earlier?
Like, hey, look at the screen. Look what happened.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to remember, like the plot beats for this game definitely go a lot deeper into digging into the lore of the T virus, Wesker's involvement in it. Obviously he was one of the original alpha teams for the original Resident Evil game. Now, like you're finding out that he's like, knee deep involved in all like the conspiracy that comes within. Claire's still trying to find her brother. God, it seems like that's all she's been trying to do in these games is to like, find her brother. But when it comes to like, I guess the horror games, I always go back to this one and being that this is the one that really, really kind of made the leap forward. I know that a lot of people hold Resident Evil 4 in extremely high regard, and I don't tout that game is one of the best in its genre at the time that it was released. But without Code Veronica, I don't really think a game like Resident Evil 4 could have made the big of a leap as it did over Code Veronica, as Code Veronica did over like Nemesis and Resident Evil 2. I don't know. Did you play much of Code Veronica at all, or?
No, I'm not a horror.
I know you're not a horror. I don't know if you're like roommates, if you watched over their shoulder.
So yeah, that is the case. So I did own a Dreamcast, and I did buy this game because I wanted to play a Dreamcast game. There weren't very many Dreamcast games, and there weren't many highly regarded Dreamcast games. And so I got it, and I couldn't get into, I just don't do horror games. And so my friend ended up who also had a Dreamcast ended up borrowing it from me, and I kind of watched him. And yeah, it's an interesting game. It was such a weird thing at the time that game was an exclusive to Dreamcast. Like it came out exclusively on Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Definitely.
It was a really weird thing. But yeah, it's certainly, I'll say this, it's probably the Resident Evil game. It's either that or 4 that I've gotten the furthest in before quitting. Like I never like
okay.
Like 2 and 3, The second this like I mean it was very apparent very quickly that I was like no this ain't it. But Veronica, Code Veronica, and 4, I definitely got a little bit further in. Like I totally understand its greatness, but yeah, I never went too far in it.
That's fair. I mean, like again, it definitely took a technological, graphical, audio, plot wise step forward in all those aspects, and it is definitely one of the cornerstones to a lot of horror games that are out now today, and they could look back on Resident Evil as a series in general, but definitely when it came to Code Veronica, you were like, oh yeah, that game, good lord, that like not many horror games. Like, I'm trying to remember of all the horror games. I know that you could play as Claire in 2, and then you play. It's funny, like you're always playing. It seems like you're always playing as a heroine.
Mm-hmm.
Not really like Claire's brother. What's his name? Chris. Yeah, Chris and Chris Redfield and Leon. It seems like you've been more playing as the heroine than those two guys, but yeah, that is the game that I am choosing to remember, especially on the coattails of the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil.
Yeah, man, that's definitely a good one.
Yeah, that's me. I don't know where else we're gonna go. I know you just dang it, I really wish I heard your scatter shooting. You were touting it up really
so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna I've already done the mailbag, but I wanted to get your take on Warto's visual question.
Yeah. Okay,
and
sweet.
then you came back as I was just starting scatter shooting, so I'm gonna start it over so you can hear it.
Okay, cool.
So I already answered this, but I've put the visual question back up on this screen here. It's the proper way for Batman to wear his hat. For people that are listening audibly instead of visually, I've already gone through that. So Charlie, what is your answer to the proper way that Batman should wear this hat?
I'm pointing at it right now. This is how Batman needs to wear his hat. It's number 4.
Yeah.
I'm a backwards hat wearing guy. I think a close second is number 5. I don't know what number 2 is doing.
Dude, so I said that number 2 is my number 2. And here's why. And I'll tell you why.
One.
Number 4.
Okay.
But so here's the problem I have with number 4 with number 4 being like the answer, the 100% answer is if you're going to wear it like that and have the ears popping out the top, there should be holes already in the hat. You shouldn't have to rip a hat just to make it. It should have the holes. And I think number 2 is right there with it because of the rest of them, it's the one that looks the best and doesn't look incredibly like number 1 is fucking ridiculous. It's just it's a hat rack at that point. And number 3 all scrunched up is stupid, and I'm sorry, number 5 might be the worst one. Why does he it looks like a duck. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean I think that's why I like number 5.
It's probably the funniest. It's the funniest, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
like it literally looks like he did what number 4 did, but then got some utility manager to add horns onto it.
Yeah,
and stitch it the last second.
He stitched it the last second. It's so bad. But yeah. Number four. If it already had pre-cut holes, would be perfect, like number 1.
And I guess number 3 is just right out.
Yeah, number 3 is just like he took the hat and just kind of squeezed it between the fucking ears. It's just, and then number 1 is such a give. It's just like Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
I actually
hilarious.
like number one more than 3 because of the give up. Just put it on
It's
top.
such a give up. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again here with you, Charlie, because I know you agree.
Okay.
Warto needs to do these every week. He needs to send a Warto visual question of the week. I already told him that if he does that, I will record an open for it and everything. I think that would be hilarious.
Well, remember, he is responsible for our other visual question, the female centaur.
Which I brought that up as well. The thing that did questionable things to my body. Oh God. But yeah, send another one more to next week. We'll record an open for it.
That's fantastic.
And so that is the extended mailbag. Now we'll skip the music. We don't need the music. Well, actually, I'll play the music, but I'm not going to do the open. I already did the open. And we're going to get into scatter shooting this week. And Charlie, I am scatter shooting and wondering whatever happened to dominant video game athletes. And I bring that up because with March Madness in full effect, every website is putting out their own fun brackets. Everything from tournaments of cheeses to pizza to video games. If you're looking for a definitive tournament of champions of a subject, you can find it. NBC Sports did one where it was video game athletes, a 16-player bracket that included some of the biggest names in video game sports. And while the bracket did include some names that you definitely would think of, it was missing a couple that made this reporter raise an eyebrow. So for scatter shooting today, I thought I would go over my top 5 video game athletes of all time. But before we get to that, I want to shout out a couple of honorable mentions to begin the list. We're going to start with Mario and Sonic. There's no doubt that Mario and Sonic have been in the most sports video games, with Mario taking that award for sure. Mario's been in the following: golf, basketball, soccer, baseball, tennis, fighting, and the Summer and Winter Olympics. So for sheer quantity, he would win. However, this list is for real-life athletes in video games, so I left them off. Also want to shout out Mario Lemieux from the NHL 90s series, NHL 95. He was absolutely one of the most unstoppable players back then, and especially in that NHL series. And the last shout out for honorable mentions, I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention Troy Hambrick from the Madden series circa 2004. Troy Hambrick was a bad football player in real life, but for whatever reason, he was a baller in our Madden matchups. So he definitely gets an honorable mention. So let's get to the list. We're going to go from 5 to 1.
Look, you're blunt. It was stupid.
So it was the best. All right, we're going to go 5 to 1. Number 5, Sunday Tiger, Tiger Woods Golf. Back in the late 90s and the aughts, everyone feared Tiger Woods on Sunday wearing his customary red Nike polo and black pants. This was also the case in the Tiger Woods video games in the PS2 era. Tiger Woods Golf was closer to arcade than simulation, so they made Sunday Tiger nearly unbeatable juggernaut with max stats on nearly every single attribute. He was unstoppable. Number 4, Michael Vick, Madden 2004.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s, before the dogfighting, arrest, and jail time, Michael Vick was known as a real-life video game. With speed and moves that couldn't be slowed, Vick at times was a one-man wrecking crew. In Madden 2004, that was taken to the extreme. Vick was given 99 speed and 99 scramble ability, making him nearly impossible to stop in the video games. Much like the days of GoldenEye with the no odd job rule, people began imposing the no Vick rule in Madden multiplayer games. No Madden player before or since has come close to the dominance that Michael Vick had in Madden 2004. That Madden, online Madden, when you would get in there and try to play someone that would pick Atlanta, you would immediately quit because you would lose. You were going to lose because Vick would outrun you. And yeah, he was incredible.
He was a game changer.
100%. Number 3, the Nigerian Nightmare Christian Okoye for Tecmo's Super Bowl. We'll get to the GOAT in a moment, of course, in Tecmo Bowl, but there is no doubt who the clear Number 2 video game football player of all time is the Nigerian Nightmare, the former running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. There were no players in Tecmo Super Bowl that matched his speed and tackle breaking ability. Though there were better real-life running backs for sure, no one was overpowered as much as the Tecmo Super Bowl star, Christian Okoye. No one was even close. Like, think about that. Back in that era of Tecmo Super Bowl, you had Thurman Thomas. You had Lorenzo.
Is this after Bo Jackson?
Yes, we'll get to him.
Sorry.
You had these great running backs,
but we can all name
the Lorenzo Wrights or Lorenzo Whites Roger Craig and
Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker.
Exactly. So, but Christian Okoye, for some reason, was the unstoppable one. Nigerian Nightmare.
I love that guy.
He was awesome. Number 2, Ken Griffey Jr. from Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball. In the early to mid-90s, nobody besides Michael Jordan was bigger than Ken Griffey Jr. The Hall of Fame Seattle Mariner had swagger, the talent, and the likability that you wanted in an athlete. The Seattle Mariners had ties to Nintendo, with Nintendo partially owning the Seattle Mariners, which is still true today, of course. In 1994, Nintendo released Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball for the SNES, and Ken Griffey Jr. was by far the best player in that game. Whether it was hitting hundreds of home runs in the home run derby or playing as the Seattle Mariners in the game, Griffey was unstoppable. And even for an SNES game, the game somehow was able to even show the swagger of Griffey. Just amazing.
Nintendo, please put that out on the Super
Nintendo, God, I
library.
would.
Please.
If
you ever want me to like baseball again, that would need to happen.
There are days where that game is my favorite sports game of all time. I love it so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
Number 1, of course, Bo Jackson from the original Tecmo Bowl. Bo Jackson,
yes,
if not for injury issues, should have gone down as one of, but if not the greatest athlete of all time. Athlete, not player, but just greatest athlete.
Oh, yeah.
And while there were other two-sport athletes before and after, like Deion Sanders, he was great at both football and baseball. Great at them. In Tecmo Bowl, there was one player that could tackle Bo Jackson, and that was San Francisco 49ers safety Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
But aside from him, no one could tackle him. He could break every tackle and then outrun you. I don't think there's a doubt that Bo Jackson is the greatest video game athlete of all time. He was not in Tecmo Super Bowl because he retired after that the Tecmo Bowl season. So that's why he's not in Tecmo Super Bowl. But he probably would have been dominant in that too.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He was amazing. So there you go, folks. That is the top 5 greatest athletes of all time. Number 6 is probably Troy Hambrick. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Scatter Shooting for this week. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a weird fucking podcast that has come to an end.
Oh man, I'm gonna love listening to this thing.
That middle 30 minutes where I am scrambling to figure out how to do a show without anybody else. That was good time. That was fun.
Do you remember the Bo Nose commercial?
Come on, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. Back when Bo Jackson was huge, in both football and baseball, because this was probably just before Jordan became even like basically height of powers Jordan. He was my favorite athlete at the time.
Yeah.
And the Bo knows Bo. Yeah. I had Bo Jackson baseball and football cards. Like I loved.
There you go.
I loved Bo Jackson. I used to get Sports Illustrated for kids, and he was on the cover. He was on the cover a couple of times. Bo Jackson's incredible. It's a shame. It's a shame what injuries did to him, because I would have loved to have seen what he would have done in both of those sports, like long-term career-wise, because when he was healthy, he was the best player in football.
Oh yeah, he was a cheat code.
He was, yeah, unbelievable.
His rendition of, or like the player in Tecmo Bowl is not that far removed from what you actually saw.
It's really
Sundays.
not. And he was a better football player than he was baseball, but he was still an incredible baseball player. Because like Deion Sanders, great football player, very average baseball player. Like he could steal bases because he was fast, but he was not that good of a baseball player.
Man, I remember watching that playoff game where he got injured against the Bengals, and it was one of those things where like, oh, he just got injured. It's one of those things you didn't realize that was it. That was his career as a football player.
That was it.
Like you're just like, oh my god, like you just never know. I forget it. I think he did one more year of baseball after that fact or something like that. But man,
it
like a switch just off. Like
it's interesting because the top two players on my list, who knows what they would have been if injuries didn't slow them down. Same with Griffey, like because especially those Cincinnati years, like, and he still hit 600 plus home runs, and he had probably 5 lost seasons when from the point he got traded to Cincinnati. You should watch, Charlie. You would love this because I know how much you love King Griffey Jr. as well, and how big you were into, especially those '90s Mariners teams. John Boyce on oh fuck I don't remember the name. Damn it. Anyway, John.
30?
No, it's
What are you talking about?
Hang on, give me a second. I have to tell you. I have to. What is it called? They're SB Nation. The website SB Nation. Him and one of his coworkers did I think it's a 6-part documentary on the Seattle Mariners, and it is like you think about that and it's like, really, Seattle, like a whole history of them? That sounds boring, dude. It's so good because it talks about how they became the Mariners, which is an incredible story. Their first couple of stadiums, which is an incredible story, and then of course the Griffey years, and then which turned in later to the A-Rod years, and then the Ichiro years. So it's worth watching. It's one of the best documentaries I watched last year. You should watch it. It's cool.
Ooh,
Everybody should
check that out.
But anyway, so that's great. Bo Jackson's great. Shame he couldn't keep going. And that's the show. A weird fucking show.
Oh, man.
Charlie, what do you got going on this week? Is there going to be maybe an episode 2 of a different show? What do we thinking?
We are definitely going to be going over the 4-part Justice League epic. I'll be streaming tomorrow night the second episode of the movies review with my brother Josh Shizzle 2323. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't heard from him in a few minutes, so that's why I keep checking my phone, to be honest. But we'll be doing that. God, I tried to take a 2-hour. I tried to take a bite out of that movie today, and it was like 2 hours in, and even I'm like, oh my god, there is a whole nother movie after this thing.
It's so long.
It is so like, and it's not bad. It's not. That's why when I say it's so long, I usually do that for like, oh my god, it's insufferable to like have to sit here through a movie this long. Like, I like long movies, like I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I loved obviously the Avengers movies. Like, gosh, I keep bringing them, be as long as they are. But I guess with this one, because I've seen it so recently, I'm like, wow, I'm rewatching the same movie all over again. But yeah, we're airing that tomorrow. going to try again this weekend to do a little more Fallout 4. We are hitting up more of the CIT. I might do some offside stuff just to catch up with a little more of the lore of the land. We have to go see Virgil in the armpit of the Commonwealth. Apparently, good lord. That I want to say this. Once my stream had ended today, it's funny because I was like, okay, let's just go check out what Virgil's doing. I fast traveled there, and as soon as I showed up, there was an alpha Deathclaw just waiting for me.
Perfect.
And I was like, okay, here, I got a fat man. Let's go. I took care of him. It's kind of funny. Like, obviously, the second shot got way too close to me, but like, I'm actually starting to get to a point now where I'm not OP, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm now a little more confident. I'm not as scared when I start to see one of those things pop up out of nowhere. I'm literally able to hold my own. I've seen the evolution as I've gone through this game as my character gets more powerful. So doing a little bit of that. Again, there's a couple of games on the docket that I didn't get to feature this week that I'm looking forward to sampling and hopefully diving more into next week. There's some pretty cool games that are available on the PlayStation Now that I was like, oh yeah, I should check this out. I'm not doing, the cool, awesome Game Pass game of the week like you are, but it almost seems like I am, just to try new games that have slipped through the cracks. And
it's the perfect way to do it.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I've literally stared at this $10 price tag for Undertale on my Steam account.
Dude,
at least when I've not been away. I want to know how much it is on Nintendo Switch.
I was going to say
that is something more that I would be like to play. Probably in bed
I should have mentioned that earlier. If you're going to pay money for it, like if you're not going to get it on,
sure.
I don't know. Do you? I don't think you do. But do you still have PC Game Pass, or did you let that go?
No, I still have that. I still have Game Pass. Like I say that.
I think it may be on PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
But if you yeah, if you want to buy it, yeah, Switch. That's a perfect. I mean, it feels like a Switch game. It feels like one of those kind of games. Anything else going on in the next week?
We're about to hit close again, man. Yeah. Quarter close. So 6-day quarter close on top of that. Good lord.
Oh, it's only 6?
Who decided that? Anyway, I don't know.
Wait, what's the last day? Is the last day that Thursday then?
Yeah. It's going to be
okay.
It is going to be a blitzkrieg of ridiculousness.
Perfect. That'll be fun.
That we're about to endure. But man, more video games are coming around the bend. That's what's going on.
Yeah, stuff's coming out. Some more stuff's coming out, and I'm gonna keep playing Undertale. I want to see that through. I'm having a great time with it. I'm gonna continue my Astroneer stuff with my buddy Nick and a little bit of Rocket League, and then I've got a couple of things I'm kind of churning in the brain in terms of kind of content creation stuff. I've already mentioned the writing stuff, but there's a couple other things that I've been kind of roasting. Just try to branch out and do a few things. So when those come around, I'll talk about them. And So, ladies and gentlemen, what a weird podcast. What a weird show this was. Glad everybody is safe. Glad you're safe, Charlie. Sounds like everybody else that we know is also safe. This is good. I've told you this many times, Charlie. It's very rare that I go back and actually go through the podcast a second time just because I hate listening to my voice, and I lived it. There's no way that middle 30 I'm gonna ever go back and because that was some shitty ass broadcasting, but that's all right. I can't wait for you to hear the song though. The song is
I'm looking forward to it.
It's hearing it again in context was a lot of fun. So that's gonna do it for one of the shorter podcasts that we've done. So everybody check out the Broview tomorrow night. on Charizard81 and check out some more of that Fallout action as Charlie makes his way through Fallout 4. And y'all keep playing them video games. And Warto, send us more visual questions.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've got the open already written. I just need to know you're going to do it. But thank you so much to everybody that watched tonight, that has been listening to the VOD and watching the VOD. For Charlie Zarzuela, I am Mitchell Barrett, still alive after Tornado 2021. This is the MC Gamescast. Goodbye, everybody. Yeah.